What's up, YouTube? Thanks for returning. Today's episode, the SIG P220R. I've done a video on this before, but I want to do a little bit more comprehensive video of this excellent firearm. This is one of my all-time favorite guns in my collection, and I just think it needs to be given another look because it's such a good weapon, well built, well made firearm. I just think it needs to be looked at again. So that's what we're going to do today. You see it before you. It's originally developed in the mid 70s, around 1975. And the reason SIG and Sauer, which became SIG Sauer, even developed this gun in the first place was they knew that the U.S. was looking to either replace or upgrade or update its 1911 pistol, which was the M1911 in the military. It's been used since 1911, and here it is coming up on, time was giving it some wear and tear. Now the trials, I don't think they took place until 1985, but this pistol was developed in 1975. So they were kind of ahead of the game in being preemptive on wanting to be looked at more than anybody else. So they designed this pistol here, which became known as the P series. So when you look at the P226, the P228, and anything like that, those variants, know this pistol right here, this design is the one that started it all. Before you had Navy SEALs using the P226, and before you see Navy pilots using the P228, and I think some of the other pilots, maybe even Air Force pilots, whoever uses the P228, I think SAS for a while carried the P228. Before any of those P series pistols, 226 or 228, this was the one. Started off in 45 ACP with that design that you see there. Even when you look at SIG 1911s, they kind of have this kind of signature SIG look about them on the frame, on the SIG 1911s. This is the one that started that look. That signature SIG look comes from the P220. Now this one just happens to be P220R because it has a rail, because this is more of a modern version. But there's several versions of the P220. There's some that are in 10 millimeter. This is 45 ACP. Some that don't have the rail, some that were made in West Germany. You have different factors. Some that are single action only. All kinds of different. You look at the SIG website, and you look at another SIG 220. There's about 10 or 12 versions of the SIG 220. Originally there was only just that one. This is probably as closest to the original as you'll see, except for the fact that it has this rail. So the characteristics that I want to go over are basically on talking points so that I don't miss anything. So we'll look at these talking points. SIG 220R. I put the R because this one is a rail. So you'll see there that the caliber is 45 ACP. Okay, now again, it was to compete with the United States military's M1911, which held 7 rounds. The original mags here held 7 rounds. This is an 8-round stainless steel mag, but the original ones held 7, just like the 1911. I guess they just thought that's what the U.S. wanted. The U.S. wanted more rounds. So this one, this being an 8-round mag, at least you get 1 more, plus 1 in the chamber. That's 8 plus 1. You're sitting on 9 rounds of 45 ACP. You're not doing too bad with that. This is a very accurate pistol. So you hit your target, 9 rounds should be pretty good for any gunfight. And then you got a spare mag here. You can see there's a magazine in there. Here's a spare mag. When I bought the gun, it came with 2 mags. These magazines are very expensive, so I haven't bought another one. They're about 40 bucks a pop. So I just have the 2. Stainless steel and stainless steel. 8 and 8 is 16, plus 1 in the chamber is 17. If I can't get it done with 17 rounds of 45 ACP, something's wrong. So back to this 45 ACP. Once again, that's what SIG Sauer thought that the U.S. wanted. They were really going towards the 9mm because of the NATO thing. So, but in an assumption, they made this pistol in 45, which I'm glad they did because I love this gun. It actually is probably the better performing of the P series. I know the P226 had a lot of favor with the seals, and you see Nothing Fancy loves the 226 as well as other people. I've always been more partial to this one, to the P220. It's the original. It's the one that started it all. I just think it's a great design. It's a beautifully made gun. Classic lines. The aluminum alloy. It's all metal construction. Is excellent. It's not light, but it's not heavy either. It's just a well-made gun, very well balanced. This one in particular comes with SIG light night sights, which are proprietary night sights that glow at night. You're going to see these features that I'm going to go over right here. The next one would be double action. As you can see, the trigger's ready to go. It's in double action mode. Here's the hammer. It's a 10-pound pull. If I were to pull that all the way back, it's a 10-pound pull, boom, the weapon fires. Or I can cock this hammer back. It'll be in single action mode, 4.4 trigger pull versus 10-pound trigger pull. That's your double action. All metal sliding frame we just talked about. It's an aluminum alloy. It's been anodized, coated with this finish, which I do like because it's held up. I bought this gun in 2013, and the finish has held up pretty well over those years. In and out of holsters, at the range, shooting in the desert, shooting on cold days, hot days, windy days, rainy days. This gun is held up. Cleaned it many, many times. It's got some nice wear marks from the holster, as you can see. And when the light, when I was taking the light on and off. So it's metal, so it's going to chip here and there. The paint or the finish is going to chip here and there. But I'm honestly very happy with the way it's been wearing. Like I said, it's 2019. I bought this in 2013. It's held up pretty well. Single stack magazine, another characteristic of the gun. It's thinner. This magazine is thinner than your Glock magazine, which is 45 ACP. This is the Glock 21. You can see right there. It's a double stack. This is a double stack magazine. This one holds 10, but I know they do make them with 13 rounds. This one holds 8. You can see the difference. Pretty significant difference in the thickness between the two. So again, this is a lighter magazine. It's because it's plastic, but it's polymer. But inside there is a metal frame. It's just very thin. You can see the metal frame through those little slots. This is stainless steel, so it's very well made. There's no seam here. It's seamless in the back where you can't really see where that's been welded together, basically. So that's the seamless aspect. So single stack magazine is another characteristic. The proprietary night sights, which we just went over, it's the SIG light night sights. They come with the gun. No thumb safety, so there's no physical external safety. You have your decocker here, your slide lock here, your takedown lever here, and that's pretty much it for controls other than the magazine release. The other side, you don't have really anything as far as controls. You have an extractor here, but you don't. That's just an automatic functions. You don't control that with your hand. All your controls are pretty much on the side facing, which would be, if you're a right-handed shooter, would be facing your left side. Again, slide stop. Take what's the word here I'm looking for? Decocker, takedown lever, and magazine release. That's pretty much all the controls, which is those 4 basic controls. And then the trigger, I don't consider that to be one of the controls because I'm looking at things that your thumb would deal with. My thumb is going to hit that button. My thumb is going to actuate these. My thumb is probably going to hit that too if I can reach over there. But the control of the trigger, of course, is a main function. And then the hammer, you could also actuate it by cocking it back like so, and then decock. Cock back like so, decock. One more time, cock back like so, decock. That's how you decock the gun. So there's no thumb safety. It's still safe. It's like a Series 80 style. Basically, there is internally a disconnect so that there's no way it's drop safe. There's no way if you drop this gun with the hammer down like this, that hammer will never engage to hit that firing pin. And that firing pin has been disconnected so that it cannot move forward and strike the round. If there's a round in the chamber, you could drop this gun and it won't go off. Okay, so there's no safety externally, but there are internal safety features built into the system, into the way the gun was made. It's a safe gun. Number one, you got this 10-pound trigger pull, which is very deliberate. You know you're pulling that trigger for 10 pounds. It's not an easy pull. It's smooth. It's a very smooth pull, but you know you're pulling it when it's a 10-pound pull. So it's a very safe gun. Some additional characteristics. It is ultra reliable. It really is. I haven't had any problems with it. Shooting all kinds of ammo. Durable. I've dropped it a few times. You don't want to do that, but I have. It's held up well. It still holds zero in the sense of I can ding. My standard for myself is I need to be able to hit silhouettes at 50 meters. This does that very well. I can get headshots and body shots at 50 meters, roughly 50 yards. I can shoot it further. I can get hits out to 80 yards, 80 meters, no problem. Got to concentrate a little bit more, but I can do it. It's very doable. 80 meters, 80 yards with this gun, accurate, no problem. So accuracy is it gets an A+. It gets an A+ for reliability, durability as well. It's a safe gun. I already went over that. It is a safe gun. Very safe. It's the shooter that needs to be safe. Keep your finger straight off the trigger. Don't point it at anything you don't intend to destroy. And, just the basic safety rules that are covered at every range. You don't ever want to sweep somebody with your muzzle. Never, even if the gun's loaded. You always consider it to be loaded, even if you think it's unloaded. You treat it like a loaded gun. Again, keep your finger straight off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Don't point it at anything until you're ready to shoot at that target, and make sure you're willing to destroy that target, whatever that is, or that person. So you don't point this at people or animals or anything. You don't point it unless you're willing and ready, able to take that thing out. Follow those safety rules, you'll be safe. It's ergonomic, very ergonomic. The style, it's kind of like a 1911. The grip angle, I like the wide trigger area so you can wear gloves. It'll fit. This is a short reach trigger. Some people don't like it. I like it. Meaning if you have fingers that are fat or long, this helps you reach it. It's just a very ergonomic gun all the way around. It's comfortable to shoot. I have never had a problem with the ergonomic feel of it. I don't like these grips, but they're just standard plastic grips. I can replace those, no problem. I do plan on replacing those. I don't hate the grips. I wish I had better grips. They're just standard basic plastic, your basic military style grips. There's nothing fancy about them. They'll do. I don't have anything against them. I just don't personally find anything special about them. So the ergonomics are excellent. A+ there. Light and laser accessory rail. That's the R. It works very well. It's like a 1913 style Picatinny rail. Works very well for anything that fits that. You just gotta make sure when you get your holster that it accommodates the rail. Simple to field strip. I'm gonna explain it because I'm in a sling. I'm injured right now, so I'll explain it. When you remove the magazine, you then check the chamber by racking the slide and make sure the chamber is empty. Once the chamber is empty, you lock it to the rear with the slide lock. Then you take this lever here and you flip it straight down, 90 degrees. Then you pull back on the upper slide a little bit, and then ride it forward, holding it the whole time, and pull it off. Then inside, there's a spring and a barrel. You take the spring out, which is holding the guide rod, and then you take the barrel out. You can clean the gun and then reverse that process and reassemble it. It's very simple. I think I showed it on my other video. I can't show it here again because my hand is in a sling and I'm injured at the moment. But trust me when I tell you, it's a simple gun to field strip. Simple to maintain. Basically, I do my maintenance on my guns probably once a month, and I put them back in the safe. Maintenance means for me, since they're already cleaned, unless I shot them, they're already cleaned. They've already had patches run through the barrel, and they've already been properly lubricated. So what I do is I take them apart and I wipe them down with a microfiber cloth that has some CLP on it, and then I just coat it with a light coat on the outside with that microfiber cloth and on the barrel, and put it back together, put it back in the safe. And that keeps it from getting rust. It keeps it from collecting too much dust because I'm constantly cleaning it every 30 days. So it's easy to maintain. Even after a shooting, if I take these things out shooting, to break down the carbon, I just use CLP from Break Free. It works good. You spray that stuff on there. It breaks down the carbon. Then you clean it really good with like a toothbrush with the little those little green ones they give you in the military. Scrub all the carbon off. Then you wipe it down with the microfiber. Then put a light coat on it. Boom, you're done. Put it away. Put it back together. Put it away. That carbon will still go to work on some of that residue carbon, which will still break it down. Then a couple of weeks go by, you wipe it down again, and it's very simple to maintain. These guns are they're workhorses. I can't say enough good about the SIG 220. Again, 8-round stainless magazines, so 8 plus 1 is 9. And then to do a size comparison with my other 45, side by side, I have actually another 45 that's a 1911 that I don't have currently with me, so we'll just compare these two. These are both modern firearms. They're both very well made. They're both popular. They're both 45 ACP. They're both used by law enforcement and military. SWAT teams have used the Glock 21 as well as the SIG 220. Again, they're both in 45 ACP. This one just happens to have a polymer frame, which is the lower portion, which of course is steel upper. Basic takedown is similar to this as well. There's a guide rod spring in there and a barrel. Guide rod spring, barrel. Very basic takedown. It's a little different because you use these tabs here on the Glock as opposed to a switch here, the takedown lever. Weight, this one is lighter. This one's heavier because this one's all metal construction. So this one is heavier. Accuracy, they're both very accurate. They do strike differently. So if you're at 20 meters, your aiming point for this will be a little different than this. But that's something you have to train for and get used to. But they're both accurate. Trigger pull, this one is more consistent because it's the same every time. This one is different because there's two trigger pulls. There's your double action and your single action. This one is consistently the same. That's how Glocks work. Safety features, no external safeties on either other than decocker here to put it back into double action mode. And over here you have the little tab that has to be depressed in order for this trigger to fire. But those are the only two physical external features of safety, but they both have drop safe systems inside so that they won't discharge if dropped, even with the round in the chamber. They're both known for that. They're both known for being accurate, reliable, and safe guns. It's up to the shooter to be safe. 10-round magazine, double stacked, 8-round stainless steel magazine, single stacked. Just the way it is. It's just a big difference between the two. One's thinner, one's thicker. Profiles. If you looked at the weapon from the top down, you can see the Glock is thicker. The SIG is thinner. So profiling of the weapon, that's why I think the ergonomics of the SIG are more comfortable, because it's easier to get a purchase around the gun with your hand because it's got a thinner profile. I like the Glock a lot. Believe me, it's a duty carry that I prefer most of the time. The SIG is more of my like a collectible classic piece of history. It's just something about it. It's nice. It's definitely my jewel. I don't like baby it. I shoot it, but it's a $1,000 gun versus a $600 gun. So in a duty situation, duty daily carry for security or police type work or military type work, I prefer to bring the Glock along with me for muddy missions or any kind of SWAT scenario or police scenario or military scenario, going overseas, Iraq type stuff or the jungle. I'd bring the Glock. I really would. It's more suited for that type of durable work because it can handle the extremes of mud, salt water, ice, you name it. The Glock has proven itself. Not saying the SIG hasn't. It's just that it's a little heavier and it has a little less round capacity. So I'd rather have more rounds of 45 ACP and be a little bit lighter. That's really why I would choose the Glock over the SIG in a combat scenario, is that I get more rounds here in 45 ACP and it's lighter. But they're both accurate, both reliable. So now for home defense, it's literally either or. I have no problem using this for home defense or this. When I go to the range, I'll bring both of these guns. I enjoy shooting both of them. Again, this was just a collectible. I wanted to have it for my own collection for the historical value. Plus, I totally rely upon it as far as being a good go-to-war, save-your-life option. I have no problem using this in that role. But again, this is more of my duty carry. On a daily basis, I would carry this. If I was a law enforcement officer, this would be on my hip. And so that's my philosophy. Sorry, guys. That is basically my philosophy on how I feel about the Sauer P220R in 45 ACP. It's a great gun. I recommend it. If you have $1,000, buy it. You may need some extra mags because it only comes with 2. There's a lot of accessories you can do for it. Of course, you got the light and laser thing, but I'm talking about holsters. There's Kydex holsters. There's drop leg holsters. Same thing with the Glock. There's tons of accessories for the Glock. Tons. Glock is super accessory friendly. You can do a lot to the Glock, believe it or not. A lot of things you can do. Same thing with the SIG, though. There's a lot you can do. But in and of itself, in this pristine state, just like it is here, it's enough. It's good enough. It works for me. I would like to just have just a light on it with a laser and then put it in a Kydex outside the waistband holster. And I would like, in a perfect world, to have 3 more of these stainless steel mags, and with 5 8-round stainless steel mags, and this gun on my hip with a light and laser, and some training, which I do train. You're tough to beat because this is a really good option. It's very accurate. I think it's well worth the $1,000 that I paid for it back in 2013. It has not let me down. And I shoot it. It's not like it's a safe queen. I shoot it. I shoot both of these guns. Neither one of them has given me any problems. But, that's just a quick overview of the SIG 220R and a comparison of these 245s, the Glock 21 SF and the SIG P220R. They compare well with each other. I haven't shot them in a video together, but I will do that, and I'll see if I can roll some of that footage in the future of me shooting both of these guns and seeing how they impacted different ranges, and 20 meters, 40 meters, or whatever, and seeing how the muzzle flip is and that kind of stuff, the recoil, because they do recoil differently, because this being a plastic polymer frame and this one being more of a all metal frame, they have different recoil factors and characteristics as far as muzzle flip and the push and all that kind of stuff. They both have night sights. On this one, I put night sights on it myself. These are Trigicons. They're really good. They're really good sights, though. I really like these Triges. They do the job. And they're guaranteed to blow for 12 years. So there you have it. Hope you watched the video. If you see there, I did serve in the Marine Corps for 21 years in the 0811 field artillery community, as well as other MOSs. I was a martial arts instructor, which they call now 0917 martial arts instructor trainer. I was also 8531, which is marksmanship instructor, PMI, range coach, rifle and pistol coach. Not to mention, but I will mention, I did something called OIT 12, which is like a super OIT 11. Basically, you have some extra capabilities that we don't use anymore to fire rounds that we no longer fire anymore. So I'll keep it at that, because some stuff better left unsaid. Meanwhile, SIG 220, baby, go get you some. Staff Sergeant Calhoun, out.